Civilization 6 launched as a great game, and it still is a great game, but it launched with some key features missing, things like renaming cities and some huge content updates that were in fact in Civ 5 but were not in Civ 6. Now, a lot of these features and content updates were added with new expansions to Civ 5, and that's why it's lasted so long. And you can't expect that from a brand new game like Civ 6. However, with new expansions coming, the game is looking to be a huge success even in the long run. Today we're going to be talking about not only Australia, but we're also going to talk about mod support and the new Civilization Humble Bundle really quick that has a whole bunch of Civ stuff. So let's start off with the big stuff. Australia was announced yesterday, February 21st, and was not given a real date yet. So let's just run through the facts here. John Curtin is the 14th Prime Minister of Australia, and he served from 1941 to 1945, so 4 years during World War II. And he is going to be the leader of Australia. Now, it's important to know that this is Australia's first time in civilization, period. Civilization has never had Australia in it for one reason or another, and this is the first time it's here. So it's really interesting to have a new civilization. It's not even part of an expansion pack. It's just the civilization, and it's really cool. It sounds, we're going to get into it in a second here, but it sounds like a little bit of a more late game Civ, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, this guy, he proved more than capable of the job through his landmark legislations, which greater unified the many states of Australia and assisted in its reconstructing following the war. So a little history: Australia did not end up after World War II. It didn't end up in the best state. But this guy, apparently, I don't know, I'm not really versed on Australian history, but apparently he put it back together. Anyway, the stuff you care about is this stuff: the unique unit and the unique improvement. So the unique unit is the Digger, and they are Australian troops that served the Commonwealth with honor and distinction in both World War I and II on multiple continents. So these guys are basically, I think they replaced the musket men, if I'm not mistaken, and they are, that's actually a big deal. The musket men are huge because guess what? Those are like the first guys you get that are legitimately like actually good at killing stuff. You know, warriors are okay, catapults are okay at doing what they do, chariots are fine, but riflemen are the really good at killing what they need to kill. Like, that's the first unit that's actually good and efficient. And the fact that you replace them with these guys is going to be interesting. Obviously, no one has played these yet to my knowledge, so I don't know exactly how powerful they are. However, I'm going to assume they're a little bit more powerful than the musketmen, because, like I said, they're a unique unit, and the musketmen are actually a really big deal. If you get musketmen and you go into war with someone who doesn't have musketmen, you have a huge advantage. So the Digger's going to be really interesting, and something to note is that not a lot of civilizations in this game have it, but it's a little bit more of a later game unit, you know, towards what in our world is the 1900s. You know, you're sitting about 6 to 7 hours into the Civ game, I would assume, on normal. That's just an estimate, I might be wrong. So these things are a huge deal because there's not a whole lot of late unique units in the game, and ideally these guys are better than the actual musketmen. So we'll see how that goes. They might replace riflemen. Don't quote me on that. I'm sorry. Unique improvement: the Outback Station. Australian cattle ranches are called outback stations and are synonymous with the life of the Australian outback. And the largest on a creek station is 6 million acres, which makes it slightly larger than Israel and 7 times larger than the biggest ranch in the US. So these unique tile improvement things, this thing unlocks with the Guild Civic, and it provides food and housing, and it can actually be upgraded throughout the ages with like steam power and stuff like that. But it also gives you a bonus to adjacent pastures. So you're not going to want to have all three of them together unless you have pastures around them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make like legitimate like farming areas of your city or your country or whatever, and you're going to want to place these down intermittently and have pastures surrounding them and get the best bonus you can possibly get. These things are going to be cool because it's going to basically, if you use them right, they're going to eliminate the need for, you know, more food because they're going to give you those bonuses. So this means if you can set it up right and you're smart with Australia, you'll be able to kind of eliminate the need for food and focus on more things like gold or war or whatever. So you got the facts. Now, what do I think? Well, I always say that I'm not in any way an experienced Civ player, not extremely experienced. I'm not very high level. I'm not going up against deities and everything. I'm not the best Civ player in the world by any means. There are people who are a lot better than me, but in my opinion, these guys sound like a very powerful late game Civ if you use them right. They sound like people who are going to be able to have a pocket army, sort of. So you can challenge them, but if you challenge them, you got to be up for a fight. They're not going to go out and attack people, I don't think. I think they're going to be more of a defensive Civ, and once you kind of let them come in, you let the other civilization come in and attack you. Once you kind of deplete their resources, deplete their units, then you go in and attack them. You kind of counterattack them after they've depleted the units. I think they're a little bit more defensive in the late game. However, there is nothing here that will help you in the early game. There's nothing here. So other civilizations have things that are like unique tile improvements or unique buildings in the early game, and then a unique unit in the late game, or vice versa. This is a very late game Civ, or not very late game. It is a later game Civ. You're going to have to plan very far ahead, especially in the early game, when you want to kind of set up your area and you want to set up in a huge area where you can put those passages, where you can put those outback stations to get the most bonuses in the long run when you unlock guilds, whenever that is. I think that Australia will be actually really good if you use them right. I think they're very niche, a lot more niche than Poland is. I think I said Poland was very niche in my video about them too. But these guys are going to be a lot more niche than Poland, actually, because Australia looks like it's going to be a very planning-based Civ where you have to plan out little details, and then you're going to have to be very cautious and very patient when you're in war, because like I said, you're going to, instead of wanting to attack, you're going to want to wait and then counterattack. To be honest, I'm kind of skeptical to see where Australia falls in the civilization tree, because civilization is played in the mid-game, especially this one too. Mid-game was not that important in the last ones, but mid-game is super important here because it's where you make your moves. You know, right before you hit that musket man area is where you make your moves to get what you need to kind of propel through the late game, and Australia can do that to an extent, especially if they do it right. Like I said, if they do it right, they can totally excel because they have these unique units and they have that unique tile improvement. However, I think at the same time, they're going to need to kind of relax this and do it patiently, do it cautiously, do it methodically, instead of just rushing in and taking what they can get. So before we talk about the mod support for Civilization 6, let's talk about the Humble Bundle, the Civilization Humble Bundle, I think it's Humble Civilization Bundle, that's what it's called. So this is going for 13 more days, so you have a while if you don't know if you want to purchase this. But if you guys don't know how Humble Bundle works, it's basically 3 tiers, maybe 4, sometimes 4 tiers, and you can pay $1 or more to unlock the first tier, or pay what you want usually. You have to pay more than the average to unlock the second tier, and you usually have to pay a premium between 10, 15, however many dollars to get the third tier. So this is going to be very interesting. I've never seen this Humble Civilization bundle, but it's actually not that bad, especially if you're brand new to Civilization. If you've never played Civilization, this is a great starting place. So for the $1 or more section, you're going to get Sid Meier's Civilization 3 and Civilization 4, the complete edition. So with Civilization 4 is, honestly, I think a lot of people really like that game. I never really played it myself, but a lot of people really loved Civilization 4. So I think if you want to get into the series, that's probably a great place to start. Haven't heard much about Civilization 3, but it's a Civilization game. It cannot be that bad. When you pay more than the average right now is $7.81, you unlock the good stuff. So check this out. Civilization 5, Civilization 5 Brave New World, Civilization 5 Gods and Kings, and Sid Meier's Civilization 5 DLC. So that's basically the complete edition right there if you guys didn't check that out. And 20% off Sid Meier's Civilization 6 coupon, and 25% off Sid Meier's Civilization 6 Digital Deluxe. Sorry, I know I'm talking fast, but I'm trying to get through this. Basically, you can get 25% off the Digital Deluxe Edition, which I highly recommend because Civ games have so much DLC now, it's absolutely crazy. So I would recommend using the 25% off for the Digital Deluxe Edition, and then giving the 20% off for the regular edition to like a friend or something. That's what I would do. So that's $7.81, which is a very good deal. I think the complete edition of Civilization 5 on G2A of all things is going for around $12, so that's really good. And then for the $15 or more section, you're getting probably what's less than your money's worth, honestly. You're getting Beyond Earth, Exoplanets Map Pack, and Beyond Earth Rising Tides. Now, Beyond Earth, if you guys did not know, was probably the worst rounded civilization in its history. Again, I haven't played a whole lot of Civilization, but Beyond Earth was not good. I didn't buy it. I played it for about 8 hours on a free-to-play weekend, and I decided not to buy it because I just didn't like it. It was not enjoyable. It was not fun, and it was honestly a little bit more dumbed down than it should have been, in my opinion. So that's just me. But no, this is a great Civilization bundle. So if you just got into Civ with the Civilization 6 stuff, or you want to get into Civ, this is a great place to start. For less than $10, gets you some awesome stuff. Civ 5 is a great game, and it's a complete game, you know. Civilization 6 is not yet complete, which is a huge deal for some people. If you want to wait a little bit, wait till the end. Probably like this time next year will be when Civ 6 is probably dying down. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't know. But Civ 5 is complete. It's done. And that's a great place to start if you are getting into Civilization, or Civilization 4 if you only want to spend $1. That's a great place to start too. Alright, so let's talk about the last thing is going to be the update and the basically mod support that's coming. So a new free update for Civilization 6 was announced yesterday with all this other stuff, and it's coming soon. That's all we got. It will include great features such as Steam Workshop and modding tools, as well as multiplayer team functionality, which isn't that big of a deal, but multiplayer really does need to be overhauled in this game. Not a lot of people play it, but it does need to be overhauled because it's not great in Civilization 6. Modding tools is what I want to focus on here. I'm going to go over really quick to the Civilization 5 mod workshop, and I'm going to tell you exactly how many mods there are basically for this game and how loved it was. So I'm looking at it right here. Over 7,000 items for the Civilization 5 workshop are here, and this is over 4 years, I want to say. This is a lot of stuff. This can really change up your gaming experience in multiple ways. Mods are great. I absolutely love mods. 7 years actually. Mods are great. I absolutely love mods. They are honestly one of the highlights of PC gaming. And I was not expecting Civilization 6 to ship with them. However, I was not expecting it to take, how many is that? From October to February, so around 4 months, 5 months, whatever. I was not expecting it to take that long to get mod support, but I'm very happy right now. They have been around, and there have been mods on other third-party websites, but not here on Steam. The Steam Workshop is absolutely great. It's a one-click thing. If you haven't used it before, it's a one-click thing. You reload the game, and you're there. You know, there are some problems where some mods aren't compatible with others, and it's hard to see that, but it's actually a great program. It's a great little tidbit for Steam, and it's going to be absolutely great. You're going to be able to really change up your Civ 6 experience if you've been getting bored with it. I mean, I don't want to say I'm getting bored with Civ 6, but every once in a while you just want to play with Star Wars civilizations or Warhammer civilizations or this, that, and the other thing. So I think that's going to be great. Workshop is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love the Steam Workshop, and I'm so excited to get Workshop support for Civilization 6. Now, when is this content update happening? Well, like I said, we really don't know. If I remember correctly, it's dubbed the Civilization 6, I think, Australian Summer Update. So, Australian Summer is still happening right now, as far as I know. I'm not really, yeah, so here it goes. We have no idea when it's going to come out. Yeah, it is called the Australian Summer Update. So we have no idea when it's going to come out, but we know that it's going to be soon because Australian Summer is starting to end shortly. It's going to end shortly. It's going to be in the next month or so, next few weeks. So keep an eye out for it. It's going to be here probably within I would say the next 2 to 3 weeks at the latest, and that's when it's going to come, and that's when you'll be able to see the workshop stuff. That's when you're going to be able to get your hands on Australia, and that's when you're going to be able to really get a good late game going with this new Civ. We'll have to see how it works out. So with that, my name is Spencer. Go ahead and like, dislike, and go down in the comments down below and tell me why you're like you did. Hope you guys enjoyed this very off-the-cuff video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.